G'day and welcome to Kick Pass Discuss, our new NRL podcast where we will be talking about the latest games in NRL, upcoming games, players, NRL news, and more. We're your hosts. My name's Kieran.
And my name's Jax. We'll be producing episodes on Thursday and Sunday, perfect for the start and the end of the NRL week.
And you're absolutely right, Jax. And what better way to start this podcast than now? We're heading into the finals. Stakes are getting high for some teams. Teams are dropping out of the 8 to make the finals, and teams we thought wouldn't even make it are now going into the finals. We've got finals coverage and more, but before we get into all that, Jax, I'd like to ask you, who's been your most surprising team this year? Who you thought wouldn't make the 8, but obviously have?
Well, the Broncos have had a really good season, especially with their newest addition, Reece Walsh. He's been a really great addition to the team ever since their really bad end to the 2022 season.
You're absolutely right. Reece Walsh he was really quiet with the Warriors, and that brings me to my next point. For me, the best, most surprising team this year has actually been the Warriors, because they barely made many seasons, like top 8 final seasons, and they've only made a grand final once, which they've lost. And Reece Walsh has gone, even though it was more quiet with the Warriors and the Broncos. But they're just playing exponentially great, the Warriors. So yeah, I'd love to see a Warriors and a Panthers grand final.
Really? Panthers again? They've won twice in a row. I don't want to see the Panthers win again. What about a Broncos vs. Warriors grand final? Wouldn't that be better?
That would be good too. I'd probably back the Warriors, Jax. What about you?
Same. Warriors have been playing really well this season, obviously.
Yeah. But also on the Panthers topic, I'm going to move that to Parramatta, because Parramatta are having a bad end to the season at the moment, and they're probably not going to make the 8. And yeah, except for some reason they're beating Penrith, and we'll see again if they get smashed by Penrith next week or if they win. But yeah, what did you think about the Roosters game, Jax, against Para?
Oh, that was just a big disappointment. You were at the game, right? People were just leaving.
Yeah, I was at the game, and with 10 minutes to go, the score was 28 points to 12 to the Roosters. And look, everyone was just leaving the stadium. It was really sad.
It was just a mega insult when the Roosters scored in like the last 30 seconds of the game. It was just terrifying.
I know, it was 28-12 already, and then they got into the 30s. I mean,
The conversion on the end was just a rubbing salt in the wound.
I mean, we're obviously Para fans ourselves, but not for us. But I just feel sorry for the players, the coach, and even just Para fans all around the world, all feeling the misery because they had a bad start to the season, and then they were winning games, smashing games. In fact, they beat the Dolphins 48-20, I think, and then they won against the Knights 48-12, and now just 3 games in a row. Melbourne, Broncos, and now the Roosters, they've all just been smashed.
Brad, give us your take on that performance.
Thought we tried hard. Started well. Just a few things went against us, and then it snowballs, and a run of possession or periods, where we don't get the ball. Just made it tough, and then we had a good fight, and we fought hard. Well, I think we fought hard all year. We're just not getting it right.
But yeah, enough about the Eels. We shouldn't be talking about them, should we, Jax?
No, we shouldn't.
Now, let's review this week. Which game has been your highlight game this week?
Me personally, the Dragons have done really well against Storm. Even though they've lost, their standings in the leaderboard have kind of made up for it. Because the Dragons played really well for what they,
Ryan, you must be growing sick of fighting performances that finish just short of the scoreboard.
Yeah, not sick of it for me, mate. Sick of it for these boys.
I know, because Dragons are 16th, right? And Melbourne Storm are only 4th. And there was literally a 10-point game. The score was, I believe, 38-28?
Yeah, I think so.
I know, so honestly, it's a really good effort from the Dragons. But now, let's have a look at our current final standings, shall we?
Let's go to our final standings.
At the moment, the final standings, so obviously we talked about the Eels. The Eels aren't going that great at the moment. But Yeah, they're knocked down to 11th now because they lost to the Roosters, and now the Roosters are in 28 points, 10th place. So if they win the rest of their games, they can still make the finals, the Roosters.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see.
Obviously, we've got the Panthers, the Broncos, the Warriors, and the Storm in the top 4 at the moment. But I think it'll be a fight between, obviously, Panthers and Broncos to see who comes first. And then there'll also be a fight between the Sharks and the Storm to see who comes 4th place in the top 4.
I'll just be praying in the corner.
Yeah. I'll be backing the Sharks for that one over the Storm. Don't like the Storm after they smashed Para, obviously. And then we've also got, I'd say we've probably got about 5 or 6 teams who is fighting for spots 6 to 8. We've got the Raiders, the Knights, the Rabbitohs, the Cowboys, the Roosters, and if you want to include the Eels, of course, you've got the Eels, but they're not going to make it anyway.
They wish.
Yeah, wish upon a star, mate. But
And we've obviously just got the hopeless teams: Sea Eagles, Titans, Dolphins, yada yada.
yeah.
The Dolphins haven't been doing too well this season because, considering it's their first, it's not too bad.
I mean, Dolphins actually had a pretty good start to the season if you think about it. Like, their first game, they beat the Roosters, and then they also won other few games against Canberra, etc.
That's true.
But lately, I think after they got smashed by Para, they've just been going down, down, down. But yeah, that's our final standings, folks. And now I actually think that we're starting to get to the end of our podcast for this week. I know, it is sad, isn't it, Jax?
Yep.
But on Thursday, we will be back, and we'll also be having our tips for round 26, I believe, of the NRL.
And we're going to make our bets to see who wins and loses.
We sure will, and then we'll be reviewing those bets on Sunday after Arvo again, and then we'll be counting the points, seeing who wins each week, and then we'll keep doing that until grand final, which will be great.
Meanwhile, you can check out our YouTube channel for the post-game interviews as in clips for extras of our podcast.
Yes, that's right. We'll have extras of our podcast in our YouTube channel, and our YouTube channel will be in the description for this podcast, so if you're interested, make sure to check that out and subscribe. Also, make sure to follow this podcast on Spotify and more. So, yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for tips and obviously looking forward to round 26 games.
And Sunday, looking at the post-game interviews and all of that.
Like today. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon. Bye.